we crack this box open, I wanted to show you the real estate size, as this is the same size as the Titan's Return Star Convoy, or Star Optimus, as it says there on the box. The only difference there is he is much more wide than this guy here. So there's that. Without further ado, here is Transformers Studio Series Age of Extinction Grimlock, redone into the Titan class. I want to say thank you again to my awesome wife that let me stop at Memory Lane Comics in Wilmington while we were down there moving my daughter. Here's a look at the side of the box. The back side of the box takes up a lot of real estate. It's got the awesome weapon, the mace on the hand, T-Rex mode, all the stuff and things that you would want there. And that scene where he first transformed, you got him doing the fire blast there at the top of the box. And pause and scan here. I don't think for in-store hunts will be fortuitous, but I'm just trying to help out others looking for this awesome pickup. Let's crack this beast open and take a closer look at this guy together. Thanks again for watching. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. By the Knights of Terminus, this guy is huge. Just a little bit quick scale comparison just to give you an idea. Jurassic assembly will be required. Let's get back to it. This guy is one massive chunk, as we'll do a quick 360 and let you see how that stuff works out on the back. He does got like a little overhang there, but I mean, you're mostly going to display him like this right here, and massive shelf presence. It is Don't Mess With Me or My Dad's Shot. It was like one big garbled Michael Bay mess. So the best Jurassic Happy Gilmore golf swing kind of makes that bend right there, so we're not going to do this much longer. Grimlock and the Dinobots ruled the earth.
Blast effects I got here is Optimus riding Grimlock into battle, shooting off some fireballs. It doesn't stick very well, and you can't use the spread one because of the way it does in the mouth, but they do got a blast effect port there in his mouth. As Optimus and Grimlock go rampaging through Hong Kong, I mean, that was a really awesome scene in Age of Extinction. And one more parting shot with Optimus firing off the shield cannon thing. This thing is really awesome, this little upgrade kit. Try to put it right here in the thing so you guys can get it. Let's focus on the beast mode of Grimlock now. And if shelf space is a premium, which if you got a bunch of Titans figures, I mean, you got to have a little bit more room, but you do got a way of displaying him just like this, and he looks like he's taking a big dump. And the biggest negative with this whole entire mode is this section right here. It's his tail. It's literally half the figure, and it is his weapon as well. As we'll show you that as we go into that transformation back into robot mode to finish this off here in a few minutes. He has a locking point inside, kind of like Silverbolt. I don't know what it is about them wanting to do beast modes with locking points, and this is very stagnant. But like, I think he deserves a more dynamic, beautiful pose like this. In beast mode, he can bust a massive A-frame as we are displaying right here. His shoulders can spread on out due to that. We'll go through that articulation in these little sections right here. And you can do that upper thigh and get it to be a little bit more stable. And I might as well do that real quick. Just give me a second. I'll do it even on camera. And that likes to pop off right there on his leg. It's the inner parts for going back into robot mode to do that stuff. And you can make him a little bit taller, but I don't know why you'd want to make him taller like that. I like to get him down into a, like, you know, lunge and attacking pose. Anyway, let's get that down in there. And that's not so bad right there. I think that's a really great display option. He's sitting there scratching his ear, but I mean, it's really cool because on his arms you get all the way around right here. And due to the way that it does, you get like a full Mr. T with these little arms. It's like a crazy articulation. You get all the way around at the wrist of the two finger claws and stuff. And so, I mean, you can bust them out through there. His head does articulate up to reveal that blast port there, and his tongue will pop up, but it unpegs there. And then the bottom jaw, you can open it up a little bit wider, but then it looks really ridiculous as he's like super yelling really loud at something. And I just don't like, I wish the head was more thought out. I'm glad they did give it some articulation so kids can go rah, 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 and chomp, chomp, chomp. He's got nice paint detail on those eyes there. And he's got that little one-sided claw here. It's asymmetric, so it's not there on that side. And it's really neat how they did this stuff right here. This back here in the back with the tail is just really lazy when you get into it. With those legs, you do get all the way out as far as you'd want, so you can actually get a T-Rex with the full splits, or you can lay him over on his back and get a improv tube base mode if you want to. Or he got splattered by the bad guys. Not happening. This guy's a beast. I do like how the bottom of this acts like the bones of an actual T-Rex, and they did add this little floaty fin thing right here to where you don't break it. So I mean, that's nice. This tail is a pain in the ass. He's got a major hemorrhoid that keeps haunting me throughout this whole process, and is, like I said, the biggest negative I have for this whole back section right here. But we'll try to put that back on there here in a second. I do want to take the time and thank the design team for giving the legs the heaviest articulation ratchets I've ever seen on a figure of this size and everything. It really does make for some fun posing there, albeit limited. There's no posability in the tail, as you see on the box art. He's got that slap thing going on. This is the closest action you get to a slap going on. It's just a straight tail, kind of like the straight tail Rat Trap had in the Beast Wars. And we're going to get this guy back over into robot mode now and finish this off into some final thoughts. Just for some transparency and quirkiness, because this is not going to be a buy for everybody. Here's what I'm talking about with that tail. It's just so super duper easy to get that to fall off, and then he does a 3-point stance on his head. This whole tail, it's kind of cool, but then it's kind of just clunky and stuff. But you take and spread it apart right here, and then you take these guys and just kind of spread them out and kind of fold these up inside of there. And you kind of get, once you get this up in here, you can slide it on up on each side. Daggone, it's so clunky. I wish they just add a little bit more, and it will segregate with all these pieces all the way down through here, and it's how it comes in the box. It's like all segregated and whatnot. And then you could do like a hammer if you want to, but that's not what's true. It's a more like a mace kind of weapon with what they got. And then you can have it as a stabby weapon and throw it down like a javelin, and or you can flip this around and club somebody upside the head with both ends, Darth Maul. But these things do not stay, they need to be locking together or something or other, and they don't. So anyway, and you got to do this a certain way to even get it into that tail transformation. So there's that part transformed, and you can kind of see how the rest of this will go here, as these are arms right here and his shoulder pads, and those will go up on the back. This is his back here. This is his chestial area here, and things will just come apart here, and I'll get it on over in robot mode and you can see the rest. God, where'd my tail go? Oh shit. We'll work on those legs first. I might as well just go ahead and do this and show it off, folks. There goes the hemorrhoid out of his ass. So once you get the hemorrhoid out of his ass, they sit down, and you can see this side there. And then, so he's got this open buttocks area here. Just kind of set these back up and out of the way, because we'll be moving this in and around. And this back piece does come up. Now that I've got it, it's not going to do it, especially whenever it's on camera. So let me take another look at this off camera. That got really stuck on that one, so that just kind of goes back here and lays back here, and we'll spread it out like this for the rest of the transformation, because it just kind of just goes, well, it kind of goes like this and lays out there, and it can be spun around, but it's just supposed to go like out here. So we'll just do that for right now, and these pieces will fold in on itself just like that, and they do ultimately come up and do that right there. On the front side, we got to open up these shins, get the knee spikes out, and then close that back, straighten this leg on up and out. These toes come in, the spike comes up and out, and if I'm not mistaken, this whole thing has got to be spun around here, because, nope, this is the front. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. So there's the front. So we just get this guy stand up. What you do to one side, you want to do to the other. crouching over in dinosaur mode can give you such a crick in the neck. Let's get the rest of them finished up right here, guys. So now what you got to do is you got to take these little pieces and fold them out to the side there and flip them around just like that and down, around and down. Then you want to take this piece and fold it up into this little place right here. Well, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. Those come out and this comes out. Good night. He is a beast, and I have so much respect for people that do this in front of the camera all the time, and I'm doing it so awkwardly, but Snake's just sticking with me. You can kind of see how this is going to go from here. Let me get stuff on into place here in the shape. Now that we got those shoulder bits like off of there, let's spread those arms apart just like that. And you have to give a funky thing or this will never tab into where it needs to go to, into the beast mode. We got to fold this chest on around so that we can get this hinge to where we can open up the chest shield area. And daggone it, I just did it a second ago and now I can't get it to do it. There it goes. The head's gonna come up out of the chest, and then this other piece will come flopping back into the middle, just like so. And we gotta get that arm on down now. Herein is the trick to this whole thing right here. You've got to get this piece up underneath like that and then bring that across in order for this to actually get into some sort of position right here to get that to pin together. And it was no easy task, as I just demonstrated that on camera. Without you getting that one piece below the back piece, you will not get this jaw thing locked into place for those that pick this up. Then you just take and simply push that on over, and then it's going to have its clamp points. That piece should just, yeah, that raises on up. So there's what you got before you put the shoulder bits on to make the face. I hope that helps the folks out. I'm going to reverse these steps real quick on here on camera and just pull this back out and put it just back on around. So there's that one little magic joint. The rest of this kind of is obvious now what we got to do. So now we got it like this. We just got to get those arms to come back down here and tuck around back in the back there and fold up onto his back just like this right here, guys. Before we fold this on down like that, I'm going to raise this back up again and make sure that you get this big butt tab to go into this thing back here, and it'll lock into place. Then you can actually rotate these little bits up and slide into place and actually get this thing to lock in against these little two fins right here. These two fins here. Once you get this piece up past this gray silver middle piece, then it'll come up here, and then there's that spot, and it just locks in like that. Let's do it to the other side real quick. And I left it on camera, so there's that. Then you take this thing and just fold this on back around. You can actually, oops, and then it'll pop off, but you can just pop it back on there, and it's a double peg spot, so just kind of be careful there as you manipulate it. Boom, there you go. That's why I don't do transformations on camera. It is too hard, but I just wanted to show that stuff off there. Now we're going to work on those arms and upper body. Now we got things kind of straightened up and things kind of falling in place from the bottom up there. We can bring that head on up like I was telling you about, and this back piece gets in the way of the head articulation. So we get that up and then close that chest panel on up. These arms will come down around here after I pop that off, of course. So it'll come around like that and around like that. Then you bring this down, and this comes down and that comes down, and you can kind of see where things are going to go from here. So you want to take this guy and just flip him back up in there, and then this piece is going to open up to reveal his hand. Boom, there. And then this whole joint has got to come back around. We got to get this head together here, up on his shoulders. So that comes back up, clips in, and locks into place. So that's how you make one shoulder up here, the two pieces there. Boom. And that wrist is ready to rock and roll. And thank goodness it's got heavy ratchets is all I gotta say. Again, we're going to do this again right here, and then open up that wrist, flip out that hand, close that back, and he does got some opening action. I wish he had more fingers. I just think it's a cheap cop out, and you can put that back there. So he's got the spikes sticking out on the sides. I'm going to get this camera angled up where you can actually see what's going on with this shoulder here, because that one kind of does a similar thing. And then you want to take these little bits and fold them inside the shoulder. It's different on this side because it's the top of the head on his left shoulder, and then boom, down. and boom. And then last thing you got to do is raise that spike and oppose those weapons. And let me clean them up off camera and get them posed there. Well, actually, I just did it on camera. Let me get him all posed up with his weapon. Point of tiny steps that you will miss there's like 40 plus steps to this guy, is if you don't get this thing, when you go to put the arm down, back inside of here, it's just going to be like right there and make things kind of weird. So then there's this thing safely away. It'll go back into the chest area there and get your articulation back. I keep undoing the chest. Let me get this guy cleaned up off camera. And here is Grimlock all standing tall, cleaned up. Let you see that side profile. He does clean up pretty good. He does have this like cape looking thing, and it's just his skeleton back hanging off the back there. You can angle it up some, or you can even get the collapse and get up further. It's whatever you desire. I'm just glad that you can do something with it, and it is true to what you see in the movie there. I just kind of wish that he had a little bit more room to do some things. And he does have an impressive amount of articulation for everything going on and how busy he is for a Titan class figure. You can take and get the arm to go all the way around at the shoulder area there. So that is pretty impressive there. You got upper bicep, you got that much elbow. This thing will articulate as well on the arm. You got wrist to go all the way around. You got that one hinge hand there. So that's all you got for the hands and stuff. You can get these arms to come up, and you can get you can fold this back out this way. Well, and it just will pop off. I'll just lay it aside right there. You can get it up to a full Mr. T there, Jurassic Mr. T, and then you can get this hip skirt up, these hip skirts out. That full van damage for a Titan, that is really freaking impressive with the massive, ratchets there. Then you got thigh swivel going on. You can, like I said, fold that up, move it out of the way. You get that much in the leg that way, and then you can kick up that high and that far for a Titan. That is pretty crazy, dude. It's in here. You got that much knee due to transformation. You got ankle tilts with those nice ratchets. You got forward movement, no backward movement. And that's the thing, like, you get nothing. Well, you don't want really much else there in the knee there. So there's that. These do kind of, they're soft for rubber. So there's that. Those articulate, those spin. And that thing will peg back down inside of the waist there. And you get his little Knights of Terminus hip skirt all going on there. And these toes, you have them in or out, but that had them out. And then the toes from the beast mode is there. And I'm going to pop this back on and get this guy in the final pose and some final thoughts. Thank you for sticking with me this long. Some final thoughts here, guys. This guy has 3 glaring negatives. That one being this tail into a mace weapon thing. It's segregated and segmented, and it falls apart. Softer rubber. You can't really do a whole lot in the way of posing with it. It does look like massive shelf presence whenever you have it like that. That's okay for the tail. Let me go back down here, spread it back out like that for the final thoughts. The head does not articulate up at all, and it barely has any side to side. But the paint work on this, getting into some more positives here, or the biggest negative is the price. But like the paint work on here, where they use paint, is gratuitous and awesome. Makes this robot mode really, really pop. And I'll probably keep him displayed like this for the most part, because he does have a massive shelf presence, and I've played with him a lot more than I thought I would. Just handling him, he's just fun to handle. And the beast mode does got nice upper arm claw articulation for a Grimlock or a T-Rex metal beast. Some of the best there in articulation, because of the shoulder joints with that backpack there. I love these this spot on right there. And then the way that they've done the legs gives it more dynamic posing. Outside the arms and the legs, you're not going to get a whole lot out of the head. Outside some chomping action, you do get like a blast port there to where you can do the blasting. And it's kind of neat, that transformation with the head and how the shoulders come up and clench together. And if you don't get that one little step with this backpack, this has got to go in side. No. Actually, that one little notch has got to go inside before you do the rest of it. You're just not going to get that to clip together and make it a decent enough mouth. It's neat how this head kind of segregates down into the bottom side and makes the bottom part of the neck, and how the horns tuck away and hide there. It's a really, really neat figure to have. I do love it in both modes. transformation is fun, except for that massive half of the figure, the tail mace weapon. It's just, it doesn't do anything for me. But it's a nice thought, but I think they need to clean it up and make it a little bit, this should be a stronger material and not this flexy bendy stuff, because this is so heavy here anyway. And I wish this clip stuff was a little bit better, because the massive hemorrhoid ball that you got in that storage section there, it's just a pain in the ass, no pun intended. Still a very fun Titan class transformation. I just had to, you know, goof on that, you know, base mode thing, laying him down and spreading his legs out, because it seems like what all Titan class figures does. Actually, the Star Optimus Prime just sits down Indian style, flexes out his legs like it does, and then his whole upper part doesn't really transform. So it's really the laziest base mode I've seen of base modes and Titans and big figures. But that's been all I need to say here. I want to say thank you again to Ace and the crew down at Memory Lane Comics in Wilmington for getting it up to that super high shelf. I mean, it was way up there, and it was just nice to grab something after a really rough week last week, moving my daughter from her junior year apartment into her senior year apartment, and it was sweltering in Wilmington, guys. If you wasn't on the beach with the breeze blowing land or sea, then it's miserable down there. And it's a nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. It's just too much traffic there on that little peninsula. Thanks again for watching. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, all the stuff down below. I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you again for sticking with me this long. Y'all have a great week out there. Stay safe. Until all are one, guys.